What's going on since I saw you about an hour ago? Welcome back. Follow in. Start your watch parties. You know who it is. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Friends of ADOS TV channel, bringing you those ADOS hot topics and making the case for reparations. But today, I'm making the case for that COVID-19 stimulus demand, family. Yes, I am. We need 100,000 signatures. We haven't even scratched the surface. This is the part where everybody gets to be in the movement, family. So follow in, start your watch parties while I get the show set up, okay? I got to start my watch party. At the same time, I'm asking you to start your watch parties, okay? Yes, thank you so much for joining the live. I'm so grateful for your presence. Saw you about an hour ago. Part where everybody gets to be in the movement, family. So follow in. Yes, family. So I've got the watch party started. What's up, Timothy Oglesby? Thank you for joining the live. Jonta Rutledge, thank you for joining the live. Michael Mabane, thank you for joining the live. You guys, one of these days, I'm going to have a producer and an engineer. This is a lot for me to try to manage all this on my own. But I thank you for rolling with the sister. I really do. And I thank you for just being patient as I work out the kinks to bring you everything we're doing to move us forward as American descendants of chattel slavery. No, I love us black. I love us strong. Thank you, Brian Frazier, for joining the live. Thank you, William Fawkes, for joining the live. I sure appreciate you, family. Today's conversation, I'm not going to tell you because you guys know I did a show already where I read our demand letter to President Trump, and I read the proposal for what we're seeking, specifically for American descendants of chattel slavery who are dying disproportionately from the COVID, if that's what we're truly dying from. I've got my opinion and my theories about them killing us, but that's not this show. I'm here to make an appeal to your family. I need all hands on deck. This is when everybody gets to be in the movement. It is so imperative that you get us to 100,000 signatures on our White House petition. Let me post it in here because I got it set up to come directly into the watch party. Okay? I just posted it in the watch party. So when the show concludes, I need you to make it your number one priority if you haven't signed this petition, to sign this petition, family. And I need for you, if you've signed it, once you sign it, to share it and ask your people to share it, and so on and so forth. This is the only way we get this done, family. You've got to be a part of this movement. I'm going to get into it momentarily, giving a few more people to file in and start their watch parties. But we have not because we asked not, family. All the other groups are getting hooked up. Nancy Pelosi has put a gate up for the Asians, has put a gate up for the Hispanics, has put a gate up for the Indians in that 1,800-page stimulus bill that just passed the House. It's in the Senate now, waiting to be approved, okay? So that's not how any of this works, family. I am tired of seeing American descendants of chattel slavery left out of the discussion of anything specific for us. And that is what we have come together to do. Friends of ADOS TV has collaborated with Triangle ADOS and concerned Black American citizens in order to put a gate up around specific demands for American descendants of chattel slavery. Black Americans at large is what we're doing, okay? But of the Black population, 90% of us are American descendants of chattel slavery. 10% are Black immigrants, okay? You need to understand what's at stake. If we're dying disproportionately due to the COVID, if the COVID is taking us out, family, you need to understand what's coming for us if we don't secure some extra entitlement, some advantage for our people. The economic calamity that's coming, when you're dealing with 33 million people having been laid off, you know that when white folks catch a cold, Black folks catch COVID, right? So if white folks are being laid off, what do you think that's saying about the real numbers of that 33 million comprised of American descendants of chattel slavery? You got to think about that, family. And we were already on the bottom, okay? Already struggling in 1099, independent contract positions. We've been reduced to gig jobs, family, with no benefits. You have to understand the importance of you making this your utmost priority right now, right? Reparations is still on the table. We haven't left our eye off of that demand, but that's a long-term goal. That's not happening this election cycle. There are other priorities amongst us that we must address, family. And we must move in a block. Like hair is absolutely on fire. We are at DEFCON 4. So I think it's wonderful that some of us are so successful. Kudos for you. I don't disparage your success. But I have said time and time again on my shows, and I repeat it for the new people that are watching, shout out to Latasha Gibson, who's joined the live. Shout out to Vicki Lewis. Latasha has been really working day and night. I mean, like, she is helping to spearhead this whole thing, constantly making calls. We appreciate you so much. She's with Triangle ADOS. Vicki, I love how you always roll with the sister. Let's see who else has joined. Thank you, June Drafton, for joining the live. Thank you, Amir Khan. Thank you, Tara Perry, who was just my guest on the show. Thank you, my brother, my biological brother, Robert Sine. That's his amazing music you hear at the top of every show. Thank you for joining the live. Paula Hawkins, thank you. Oh, this is my diaper buddy, Melody Garrett Hughley. Oh, Lord, we go way back next door, up the street from DeSoto Bass. I thank you. Amir Khan, Black unity is most crucial in this critical hour. We must be about organizing, organizing, organizing. We cannot wait on white people to give us reparations. We must repair ourselves. We cannot be, Tara Perry speaking, we cannot be expected to repair ourselves when wealth has been extracted from our communities. Dee Davenport, thank you for joining the live. Candace Jones, thank you for joining the live. Family, I love you, but we've got to kill this aspirationalism. Let me give you some real numbers here, okay? From The Color of Wealth or The Color of Money, one of those, check it out, of 107 trillion household dollars. White folks share $100 trillion. 100 trillion. Black folks in this country share 3 trillion. So 100 trillion for white folks, 3 trillion for Black folks in this country. But it gets better. Of that $3 trillion, 90% of us share $700 billion. 700 billion, 90%. And 10% of us share 2.3 trillion. All that is required to be in the top 10% is that you earn $150,000 a year. Now, of the entire Black population, 90% are American descendants of chattel slavery. 10% are Black immigrants. So if we share 3 trillion and 90% of us share 700 billion and 10% of us share 2.3 trillion, white folks share 100 trillion, who is eating the cost of slavery? The 90% of the American descendants of chattel slavery or the 10% Black immigrants? Now, this is no shade to my beautiful Black immigrant friends who are allies. Those of you who don't appreciate the cost of the blood and the bones in this soil, who come over here and take advantage of affirmative action measures that were for us exclusively, which is now turned predominantly beneficial for white women and immigrants. Those Black immigrants that come over here who descend from slave traders, who have the unmitigated gall to be educated in the Ivy League institutions that were built on the back of our ancestors' heinous chattel slavery, the worst of its kind in all the world, and have the unmitigated gall to check the box that's Black, African American, to get scholarships to our Ivy League institutions, and then go on to just walk over top of us while disparaging us. All I can do is give you the side eye. If you've got the gall to do that and disparage the American descendants of chattel slavery and think you're somehow entitled to what is owed us, all I can do is give you the side eye. I have no love for you. If you're an immigrant and you're not an ally in full support of our reparations demands, which is a debt that is owed for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. I don't care if you're tired of hearing me say that. That didn't happen after 1965 Immigration Act. You need to get your people and continue your fight with your colonizers in Africa and with your slave traders and owners in the Caribbean. I can't go to the Caribbean and take advantage of CARICOM. You would laugh me out of there, rightfully so. So for Sheila Jackson Lee, Black immigrant, at least half of her is, to sit up here and want to reduce our reparations demand from 17 trillion to 100 billion with a B and expect us to share that with Black immigrants, you got us all the way mixed up. That's not our fight. We were drugged over here in chains. We didn't have a choice. Our ancestors did not have a choice. You opted after that 65 Immigration Act to come over to a country that you knew was diabolically racist. That does not become our fight. That is not this fight. That is not my monkey and not my circus. I am unapologetically for American descendants of chattel slavery. That is who I fight for. The gate is up, and it's time for all of us to be selfish and stop this aspirationalism and stop imploring upon the 90% of us to pull ourselves up by our bootless straps and get in this fight and pick up a brick. At least put your signature on this petition and share it. Make it go viral. You know, like you do the Tasha K's, the Lovely T's, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, all this kind of stuff. If we don't become politically educated, we will become extinct. And that is what these white folks are trying to do, annihilate us on every affront. There is a war afoot. So stop your benign neglect. You're not Oprah. Okay? You're not LeBron. You're not Michael Jordan. You're not Beyonce. You're not Jay-Z. You are an American descendant of chattel slavery. And you are owed a debt. It's not charity. It's not welfare. So you need to get into this fight. Now, we are staying up day and night fighting. But it makes no sense why all 36 million of us aren't in this fight. I don't understand why the McMichaels, who just executed Ahmaud Arbery for being black, have 97,000 donations for their defense in a few days after putting up their GoFundMe. And we are struggling to get 100,000 signatures, which cost you nothing. I'm disappointed. I don't understand it. I don't understand why we aren't fighting for what's immediately in front of us. They have set us up to be the face of the COVID, conservative numbers out there that we're dying 34.7%. I've not seen no numbers that low. I've seen as low as 40 and as high as 70. So at least half of us are dying from the COVID, as far as I'm concerned. Or they're killing us. I've heard a myriad of stories from people out of New York talking about the hospitals getting paid $39,000 to label everything a COVID death. So we can't get no autopsies. We can't be by our loved one's side. We don't know if organs have been removed. Okay? And we need to get self-interested in this COVID stimulus demand. All hands on deck. You understand me? Because they are hooking up everybody. And don't try to shame us for writing a letter directly to Trump. Do you see the CBC fighting for us? Do you? You want to sit here and disparage Trump? But do you see your own people that you put into office saying a thing about us being left out for specific advantage given the COVID? I don't see it. I see them blaming it on our health. Everybody want to deal with the effect, benign neglect. I'm here to tell you it's not the Twinkies. It's not the 40 ounces. It's not the weed. It is systemic, institutionalized racism at its lowest common denominator. So, with that said, I promised I wouldn't keep you long. I'm just going to read the proposal part. It's like a one-pager. I beg your patience. Y'all know how I do. I might be saying things. You know me. I was born to talk. I can hardly read a thing relative to us and not make a personal comment. I'm going to try to be brief, though. I'm at 19 minutes. Okay, let me get going and get off my soapbox. All hands on deck. Emergency COVID-19 relief for Black American descendants of slavery. It's been established that Black Americans are dying at higher rates in the current COVID-19 pandemic. Explanations range from the perceived health habits of Black Americans while ignoring the role of environmental racism and employment discrimination in the health outcomes. Environmental racism is the ecological outcome that results from institutional racism and redlining. Redlining is defined as the denial of mortgage credit on properties located in certain geographic areas, even though the market value of the property is sufficient collateral and the applicant is creditworthy. Racial employment discrimination not only persists, but has not changed or declined by some estimates over a course of 25 years. While the persistent variable of racial employment discrimination has been identified as implicit bias, overt forms of racism persist in the workplace. Because of this persistence of racial employment discrimination, Black Americans, who are descendants of the institution of chattel slavery, are overrepresented in what is now termed essential jobs, previously referred to as service jobs. Even in the health industry, where workers are at the forefront of the COVID-19 pandemic, Black Americans represent a higher percentage of the lower paying occupations within the industry compared to our percentage in the sector altogether. We'll stop me speaking. The environmental racism that we speak of, thank you, Marlon Watson, for joining the live. Thank you, Jefflin Giles, for joining the live. Bobby Smith, I thank you for joining the live. Amir Khan, I thank you for joining the live. Environmental racism. We have been redlined into environmentally hazardous communities and public tenement housing. The air ducts are wrecked with pollutants and toxins, and the paint has lead in it, the water has lead in it. We got hookworm down in Alabama. All of these kinds of wars being waged against American descendants of slavery, chattel slavery more specifically, is what makes our bodies a COVID playground. All of this is institutionalized systemic racism. So, some of our people in New York, I've got boots on the ground, I've got friends who are overcoming COVID. Talk about going into those hospitals where the white trucks are lined up several miles long. The food lines are several miles long. And you go into the hospital, you're almost afraid because you won't be able to come out. Okay? If you cannot breathe, they're putting you on respirators. Well, guess what? 80 to 90% of the people they put on respirators are dying. But why are they doing that? Because they get $39,000 per ventilator. So basically they get $39,000, you know, and we're dying. And our families can't be by our sides. Okay? Our families can't get an autopsy. They claim to be too busy with the COVID deaths to give us autopsies. They're telling us only a few can assemble when we put our family in the ground. How do you know that's even your loved one in the casket? They were charging Antonia Edwards from ADOS New England $9,000 to put her Uncle Sonny in the casket. How does she know his organs haven't been removed? We don't know any of these things. So we don't know if we're dying from the COVID, since they're lumping everything under COVID because it's profit over people. Okay? When it comes to job discrimination, thank you, Noemi, New York City, for joining the live. Thank you, Nicole McLemore Anderson, for joining the live. Thank you, Corey Wolf. Thank you, Natasha Hunt, another diaper buddy from Dayton, Ohio. When it comes to job discrimination, understand that gig jobs happened under President Obama. There were no controls, if I'm saying the right word. There were no provisions. I don't know. Thank you, Marcus Cunningham, for joining the live. There was nothing in these gig jobs to offer any form of benefits to the people that work these gig jobs. This was all about bolstering the unemployment numbers. So yes, unemployment numbers appear to be down, but No one told you that college degree people have to do Uber and Lyft because of job discrimination. Out here in particular, you have to know Spanish just to get a job interview. And even when you show up speaking it as fluently as the natives, you have no social capital at the table and you don't have the complexion for the protection. So 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get that job. You will be overlooked. Because why? Affirmative action now protects all the immigrants as the people of color, a word I despise. Multiculturalism. These are the ways they give away everything we're due to all the other groups while leaving us out. Under those code words, people of color. So you've got college degreed people driving Uber to feed their families down here in Southern California. While the immigrants, the Hispanics in particular, just keep on rising to the top. We are down here, we are down from 15% in the population to 9%, while the Hispanics have been encouraged to have their children. And they are at 51% and running the show down here. They've got super PACs, which some ADOS are against. I think it's utterly ridiculous. I don't know how any of this gets done until we replace the current Congress with 25% of ADOS speaking full-chested about reparations and the Black agenda. It's clear that they can't even get all of the Black folks in the CBC to sign on for a simple study that has no teeth in it. So that means a super PAC is in place to replace all these elected officials on the local, state, and national levels. Visit friendsofADOS.com if you'd like to contribute to that super PAC. If you believe that you'd rather be at the table than on the menu, visit friendsofADOS.com and make a donation of any size. We're talking aggregated people and aggregated dollars to start replacing Congress. It won't happen this election cycle, but if we move as a block, it can happen the next election cycle, okay? We have no social capital, family, and we are being discriminated against in every industry. Right now, you see the arts being fully taken over by Black immigrants trained in London. They're coming over here and playing us while the, what do I want to call, the decadent veil, the Black decadent veil, sits up here and brags about how well these Black immigrants perform. I come from that industry. I don't believe a Black immigrant from Africa trained in London can ever play me, the ADOS experience in theater, television, nor film, nor my comrades who are American descendants of chattel slavery in the industry. So we're being replaced all around, family. You've got to understand, we are on fire. It's not just the roof anymore. In every industry, we are being replaced and overlooked. And it's no shade. I'm not disparaging Black immigrants. I love you if you're an ally. I have no love for you if you're talking against what we're owed, whether it be reparations or this COVID stimulus demand. None. So don't look to me to apologize, as I'm sure folks will take all of my sound bites out of context. Do what you will. I can take it now. In the beginning, it used to matter. I don't care that I am ADOS first, self-interested. Everybody else has to come up off the tit. It's exclusively for ADOS, American descendants of chattel slavery. I have nothing left to give any other group. You guys have got to fend for yourselves. I'm tired of you doing it at the expense of ADOS, who are now the legs of the table everyone else eats from. But I digress. Let me get into the rest of this so I can let you go. I said I wouldn't be long because I have to run this over and over, and I know you guys want to get on with your evenings. And I thank you for tuning in. I thank you, L. McCallum. Thank you, Patrick Neal, for joining the live, and Robert Taylor for joining the live. Okay, for adult, I'm back to the letter. Doris, I appreciate you. Thank you for being on the line. For adult Black Americans with adjusted annual household incomes of less than $150,000, full stop. If you're earning $150,000, you're in the top 10%. That's really no money, but you're in the top 10% if you are earning $150,000 or greater. So this is for incomes under that. If you make less than $150,000, this is a COVID-19 relief benefit, otherwise known as CRB, and the COVID-19 housing incentive. Number one, we're demanding an average monthly COVID-19 relief benefit of $6,000 adjusted by regional cost of living adjustments, COLA. And two, a housing incentive of up to 60% of monthly housing expenses not to exceed $2,000 per month for a period of 24 months. Full stop. We have got to get out of these environmentally hazardous neighborhoods and buildings, because when our people are showing up to the hospitals, they're being told to go home, some of them, not all, until they cannot breathe. Well, you cannot breathe if you are on executive orders to stay at home and toxins are running through the air ducts. And in places like New York, where I used to live, you've got, 6 to 10 family members crammed into 1,000 square foot around or less because the rents are so ridiculously high. So if one of you catches the COVID, 9 times out of 10 is going to wipe out entire families. So we need the 60% of the monthly housing expense not to come out of your $6,000 per month. That needs to be a separate set aside. We want that offset by the government not to exceed $2,000 so that you can move or, move into an environmentally safe neighborhood and have an American experience for a change instead of being treated like third world in the country your ancestors built with their lives. Okay. So number 3, emergency COVID-19 health insurance benefit and COVID-19 hotline. We want A, health insurance equal to that provided to federal employees at or above the standard of a silver plan or on the marketplace through the Affordable Care Act. Dental and vision should be included. This health insurance should be provided over a scope of 24 months. B, due to reports of medical facilities denying Black Americans coronavirus testing, a hotline should be established. This hotline should not only report such medical facilities, but should fast track the screening of Black Americans, whether symptomatic or asymptomatic. 4, monthly Center for Disease Control, CDC, reporting of the rate of testing for coronavirus among Black Americans, infection, recovery, and death rates of Black Americans. These figures are based upon the cost of living differences across the U.S. We have an appendix attached. These figures also consider discrepancies in property values between red line and non-red line areas, where the latter category has more favorable air quality. This proposal considers excise tax and other fees associated with metropolitan urban regions that include transport cost, higher costs and demands in water treatment, waste management, and increased energy usage. So this is concerned Black American citizens, and we are, yes, I'm a part of that. I'm a part of ADOS SoCal. I'm a part of the Friends of ADOS PAC. I wear many hats. Friends of ADOS TV was birthed to get you guys familiar with the Friends of ADOS PAC and actually paying for our politics. If we all gave $1, we'd be at 36 million to get our people elected. It's not that hard. Visit friendsofados.com. But Concerned Black American Citizens is an ADOS interest group values the ideals promised in the Constitution of the United States of America that all men are created equal. We believe that these ideals can only become a reality with the moral and economic restoration of the Black family. Visit cbackusa.org 2019. Dawn Page at cbackusa.org. She is the founder of CBAC, Concerned Black American Citizens. And we've got appendices and cost of living modules in here and other various references. Okay, family? So I'm at 35 minutes. Let me give my love. Oh, my goodness. Zipporah, thank you for joining the live. Nicole, Triangle ADOS, another avid supporter and author to this letter. Thank you for joining the live. Antonia Edwards, ADOS New England, who's also a part of CBAC and Triangle ADOS, Faux ADOS, getting this letter out here and done. These are the soldiers, family. I want to shout out all the other ADOS. I see Rosalind Mickens from the DMV. All of us putting in work, family. You don't understand how tirelessly these chapters are fighting on your behalf. Throughout this country, they are putting in work. I couldn't be prouder to be amongst each and every one of them. I love y'all Black. I love y'all strong. You know what time it is with Angela Nirvana. I'm creating a space for everybody who wants to move, okay? And I'm telling you, I know these chapters and the work they're doing, rallying their members to go to the state capitals, to get state reparations, to get American descendants of slavery as an ID, which we need to put the gate up, to be self-interested. Our children's lives and their future depend on each and every one of us getting in this fight. In whatever capacity you can bring your gifts and talents, we need all hands on deck. If you want to be plugged into a local chapter, you're not down here with ADOS SoCal. There's so many chapters throughout this country, family. I can plug you in. You can visit me at Angela Nirvana, inbox me at Friends of ADOS TV. I've got a Friends of ADOS Super PAC. I'm on the Twitter as A Nirvana number 2. Instagram, A Nirvana number 2. I'm out here. The movement takes catnaps, family. These are all the Malcolm X's. Thanks to Yvette Carnell, who has brought us together. She taught us political education, and we got tired of asking for solutions. We decided to go out here and be the solution. I thank each and every one of you, comrades. I love you so much. Okay? I know we don't always agree on how to get things done, but there's room for everybody to move the way God inspires them to move. Okay? Who else did I miss? Okay. Angela Hilliard, thank you for joining the live. Lisa Todd, I see you, baby. Articles of ADOS. That Daoud Giazan has been my guest on several shows. He is fire. And that Lisa Todd is his co-host on Articles of ADOS. You guys need to go subscribe to that. They dropping knowledge and giving ADOS hot topics over there too. We are everywhere. Mark Stevenson, ADOS Columbus, writing brilliant articles. He's been a guest on several shows. He might even have a show. Marlon Watson has been a guest on my show. ADOS Chicago co-founder, along with Arthur Ward, along with Cynthia McDonald. I can't name them all, y'all, because there's a lot of y'all in here, and I'm just so grateful to you. Let me take a few minutes, family, if you can just entertain some of the comments. Let me go through, because, you know, y'all my co-host. Let's see what y'all got to say. Okay. Amir says, okay, he said his part. I read that earlier, so I'm not going to do that again. Tara Perry, ADOS SoCal, we aren't expecting white people to repair us. We are demanding the government make us whole. Now, see, this is where we run into some disagreements, family, right? You have got to get into the space where you understand that this is a debt. Government destroyed us. Okay? Destroyed us and continues to destroy us. If you can be assassinated while jogging for being black, you don't have government on your side. You have to understand this, family. We are demanding the debt that is owed for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives through the most heinous chattel-free slave labor. You need to memorize that in case somebody asks you on the camera. You need to say it from the chest. Melody said, yes, my love, bless you. I bless you too, sister. Okay. Melody says, we must be clear of who we are and who we come from. This country was built off of backs of our ancestors. I am African descendant. What's mine is mine. You are an American descendant and you bleed chattel slavery. Okay. Amir says 3 trillion among black people, but it's not aggregated. Once it becomes aggregated, then it becomes powerful. Our money isn't organized. It's sporadic and weak. We have all the ability to save ourselves. Looking towards white folks to repair us is to have a mindset of a slave. Visit ADOS101.com. Visit friendsofados.com. Look up ADOS DMV, Triangle ADOS. You see, family, we need political education. Let me go back. Honey, I just shared that we have 3 trillion. But 90% of us share 700 billion. Do you get that that's who we are? American descendants of chattel slavery. We barely have money to take care of our families. But I'm saying if we each gave $1, we'd be at 36 million. That's the aggregated dollars I'm speaking of to do our own politics. We must pay for our politics. Everybody else pays for their politics, even Africans. In our country have PACs. So this notion that we're too broke to pay for our politics is why we'll never get what we are owed. You have to make your politics your priority. So you may have to take off the nails. You see, I needed to give money to the marketing for the COVID stimulus demand. I gave up my nails. Okay. I was laid off from COVID on March 16th and just started getting my unemployment insurance, which is spent before it even hits the bank because the mortgage company wants a balloon payment. I can't lose my only asset to give my daughter, but that's what they're coming for, family. Everything they didn't take off the monopoly board the first go round, they coming for it this go round. Hence the COVID stimulus demand. I need every ADOS chapter to push this to everyone they know personally and within the movement. I need you. We need you. CBAC needs you. Because we need to help each other get there, family. This is not just for CBAC. It's for all of us. Whether you're in prison or not. Whether you're homeless or not. This money is, we're fighting for us. We gotta be united on all of it needs to get done because they're trying to burn us. They're trying to push us into extinction. It's on us to save us. Now, that part I agree with. But that means using our intellect and our beauty and our voice, our gifts. Okay? Moving on. Send me the petition. I'm going to sign it. Melody, it's already in the thread. Let me take a moment to do it again at the bottom. I'm pasting it again, okay? I don't need you to just sign it, lovely, although I need your signature. I also need for you to share it with everybody you know and be in this movement and help us get this petition signed. 100,000 signatures by May 31st. If those executors, the McMichaels, can get 97,000 donations in a few days, surely we can lean in on this petition, on this demand letter, so that we can guarantee something for American descendants of slavery. Okay, we have to do this, family. It's on us to make our voices heard because the CBC is playing. When you go on their calls, they're screening you, so you can't get a word in edgewise about reparations or the COVID relief. Tara, it is not the mindset of a slave. It is politics. We are owed a debt, period. Amir at Tara, the government is the white man. Kevin, I thank you for joining the live. We weren't organized because too many people are off code. This is Tara Perry speaking. Every other group is practicing politics, but we're being told to bootstrap ourselves. With bootless straps, might I add. Michael Philip Edwards, I thank you for joining the live. Amir says a slave believes in the politics of the white man as if the political system was designed to serve its slaves. The government, the CDC, the politicians, the medical system, we all in the same boat. They're all against killing your black self. Okay, let me stop right here. And then I'm going to come to this chat over here. Nicole, I see you, lovely. I'm going to read over here in a second. I'm reading for the watch party. We have a two-party system right now. Okay, so we have to work within the politics we've been given. We are out of time. We don't have time to create a third party. That can happen after this election cycle, perhaps. But it's hard enough to get everybody in the ADOS movement. That's proven to be an overwhelming feat. Marlon Watson put up a meme that I shared about how we run from being self-interested the way we run from COVID. So this is a novel idea, right? We're used to everybody being on the tent and having to be concerned about everybody else's kids but our own, all the way back to chattel slavery. So it's a novel idea to far too many of us, but it's time for folks to wake up and become self-interested and care about what you're leaving to our children. If you have no wealth to leave your child or your children or your grandkids, you need to pick up a brick, sign the petitions, do whatever is asked of you from all over the country. I'm partnering with everybody to get this done. And you need to be doing the same thing if you have no wealth. I'm not talking about your salary. Kudos if you're in the 150,000 mark. I was once at 120. I remember the times, but that ain't happened since the last recession under Obama. I have to fight for everything. But I'm fighting for ADOS, specifically, unapologetically. And you need to do the same thing. Because if we come together and move as a block, they'll have no choice but to give us what we're owed. Moving on. Systemic racism represents slavery. That's Amir again. Transfer form from one form to another. It's like asking the devil to give you justice from his brother, Satan. You're being blinded by our enemy. Amir, I'm going to love you black and strong through this experience. I really think you need a whole lot of education. So let me, be patient here. Y'all, it's hot out here. And okay, I've got my own little private summer going too. It's a lot going on. But you have to understand, we have not because we ask not. We demand not. You have to understand the impact of the ADOS movement. We started as students of Yvette Carnell. We upset an entire election from social media. From social media. The reason you heard reparations and a black agenda being mouthed from the debate stage is solely due to the ADOS movement. Or else they would have been coming from the other groups in the major papers and in the major news outlets. So we know all of what you're saying to be true. But united we stand, divided we fall. And you need to stop talking about what can't be done and look at the tractions that ADOS has made. Out here in California, ADOS Cali, ADOS Los Angeles, ADOS SoCal, ADOS Bay Area. They were at the state capitol about the state reparations to include their demands, our demands as ADOS, before they get a chance to give our reparations to all the other groups down here and we not see a dime of it. ADOS Sacramento, they were all up there. Marlon Watson and them, over in Chicago, Arthur Ward, Cynthia McDonald, and the rest went to their state capital to demand ADOS to be a distinct group so they can put a gate up around the contracts around there that we're being excluded from. The businesses, the loans. We are powerful together. And we're not even at 2% of 36 million. ADOS DMV putting in work in the DMV. Okay? So please stop telling us what cannot be done because of white folks. We are making it happen. You got to take your freedom. We are not sitting up crying in our beer about what the white folks deny us. We are demanding what is owed. Like a steady drumbeat over here. You either become a part of us or go somewhere else with all this nonsense. We've got work to do. We have to stay laser focused over here. And we encourage you to pick up a brick and stop bemoaning the white man. Stop that. It's not serving us. Tara says, I could say the same thing about your Jesus that was given to you through white supremacy. You can't tell people not to participate in politics while everyone else is. That mentality to convince us politics are not for us is a tool of white supremacy. Marcus said, right. Tara says, consumerism is not power. Consumerism is the money black folks spend on necessities. Ooh, that ADOS SoCal Tara Perry. You know what I love about y'all? When I'm tired of fighting, one of y'all in the cut to keep it going for me. I so appreciate y'all. Tara says, there's no space for baseless theorizing. ADOS SoCal. Michelle Groves Pippins, Dayton, Ohio, in the house. I thank you for being on the live. Okay, look, family. I said I was going to make this a short show, but I got to read these comments. They're so juicy, and it's a great way to have this conversation because it probably, resolves some questions others of you might be having. So let me see here if I can read from my beautiful guest in the chat. Hold on, family. I gotta. Oh, shoot. What did I just do? Oh, Lord. Oh, child, one of these days I'm going to have me an engineer. It's going to be so lovely, family. Oh, child. I can't wait to have me an engineer. Okay, so let's see what the family in the chat has to say about it. They want to weigh in, and I want to hear. Okay, Latasha's sharing this video to others. I thank you for that. Okay, speak on it. A bunch of amen corners, which I love. Peace, ADOS fam, from Nicole Antonia. I can't stand the use of African American or people of color, or even black for that matter. Don't you see the trick bag, family? They flatten blackness, and there goes our justice claim. Buried under African American, black, and people of color. Don't that beat all? Oh, we so smart. We figured that out, though, right? Nicole agrees with Antonia. Government must atone. That's from Nicole Harrison, ADOS Triangle ADOS. Government must atone. That's right. We're not letting them get away with this, and that's what they cannot stand. That's why they try to drag the movement every which way. But we used to that, right, family? COINTELPRO. This ain't nothing new. Our ancestors built this country. We are old. Miss us with that bootstrapperism nonsense. We are old, period. With the T. Like the young folks. That's Nicole speaking. Antonius, they are killing us. They are killing us. If it ain't the COVID, they're executing us and getting away with it. Nicole, did the Jewish save themselves? Did the Japanese save themselves, Native Americans, or did they get reparations for crimes against them? Say that there, sis. Triangle ADOS. We are saving ourselves by demanding what is owed to us. I can just drop the mic right there. Get involved, family. Sign the petition, share the petition, make it go viral. Please don't let the McMichaels raise money for their defense and we can't even sign a petition to save American descendants of chattel slavery. And with that said, family, I want to thank you so much for spending your time with me. I love you, Black. I love you, Strong. Forgive me for screaming. I'm a little animated. I'm a little drama queen. Been that since I was birth, okay? That I was born to scream and talk and save ADOS. I am in my element, fighting for us. And I fight for us because I can relate. All of what I'm fighting for, I've experienced on one level or another. It didn't render me homeless, but damn near. So all of us in the ADOS movement are speaking for the voiceless. And I want us to get it. I want us to wake up. I want us to care about the future we are leaving our children. We are at DEFCON 4. There is no more time to wait and play footsies with what we are owed. None. We're out of time. So with that said, family, I want to pray our prayer of protection that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever ADOS and its allies are, God truly is, because you are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the living spirit of God. It's all in you. So that means it's all on you. I love you, Black. I love you, Strong. Until Saturday, family, or my next special edition live, you make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your evening and weekend. Ciao for now, family. Thank you.